All right, welcome back to Self-Publishing Made Easy. My name is Marcus Williams. I'm glad you're here. Hopefully you've had a chance to look at some of the other videos in this series, and hopefully they've helped. Like I've said before, the reason I am doing this is I've spent a ton of time over the last couple of years researching, doing trial and error, making mistakes, and I'm hoping to share some of those lessons with you so that you don't have to make those same mistakes. And hopefully you can streamline your processes like I have been able to do the hard way. Hopefully this makes it a little bit easier for you. I'm committed to keeping these free. I've talked to people about putting them behind a paywall, but I said no. Authors have enough to pay for. We need to keep these free. If you would like to support me, there are some links below. I've got some fun book nerd merch, or you can purchase my books. I would really appreciate it. But other than that, we're going to keep this free. Please subscribe, click the notification bell as well. All right, today's topic is beta readers and ARCs. I see a lot of questions in groups about what these are, what they mean. People get those two confused a lot. They talk about them interchangeably. They are very different things, and they are both important aspects of publishing. You may use both of them or one of them. My suggestion would be, if you're going to choose one, you need to do ARCs. Beta readers, that's up to you whether you want beta readers, if you value that kind of feedback. But I'm going to get into the realities of ARCs and beta readers so that you aren't disappointed like a lot of people are, and you don't get discouraged because you have some sort of expectation that isn't realistic. So let's jump into it. ARCs and beta readers. All right, so let's talk software a little bit. So whether you are doing beta readers, ARCs, or both, you need a way to get your book to the person that is going to be reviewing. So let's talk about what a beta reader is. A beta reader basically takes your book before the final draft. When it's mostly finished, you've got it edited so that it's readable, but it's before the final draft. You're still willing to go in and make changes. You're still willing to do maybe an extra round of editing, and you just want feedback from readers. You're looking for people who would like your genre. You're looking for people that would be your prospective audience who are willing to read your book and give you feedback as you go. There are also alpha readers. Those are ones who are reading your book when it's a lot rougher. Essentially, these are kind of like the high-level editors, but you're not paying them. They're doing it voluntarily. They're doing it because they love reading and they love helping authors. So if you value that type of feedback, if you're willing to make changes based on the feedback of readers, beta readers might be good for you. But you want to be able to send them a secure file. You want to be able to send them a file, or you want to be able to collaborate in a way that protects your property, your intellectual property. So that's where the software comes in. An ARC reader, ARC stands for Advanced Reader Copy. So an ARC is when your book is completely finished, proofread, it is ready to be published, but you send it out to a group of interested readers in advance so they get a chance to read your book 1, 2, 3 weeks before it's published, and then on the publish date, they agree to leave you a review. So ARC readers are a way to build momentum for your book by having people put reviews on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Goodreads, and other sites immediately upon publication, and the more reviews you get, the more it boosts your book in the algorithm and in the rankings and in the search rankings and all that kind of stuff. So you want potential buyers, as you're marketing that brand new book, to look at it and see that there are already good reviews. So an ARC reader gets a free copy in exchange for an honest review. But it's not a contract. It's not something you can force them to do. Beta readers either. And I will tell you that the vast majority of the people who ask for a copy in advance, whether they be betas or ARCs, will either never read it, or they'll never actually give you feedback, or they'll never read a review. The percentages, the margins on this are very slim. So you're especially family and friends. Family and friends are horrible about leaving reviews for you. They love you and support you in your work, but they're not actually good at going in and following through. They just aren't. So if you don't want to get upset with or disappointed or feel down with the fact that the people who you thought supported you and loved you aren't actually following through and helping you, don't include them in your ARC team. A lot of authors, when I say team, a lot of authors actually build a team of people that consistently leave reviews, that are reliable, and they push their new books out to that ARC team every time because they know within that team they have a higher percentage of people that are going to leave a review. The hard part is building the team in the first place. So don't be disappointed. Don't get discouraged when you send your book out to someone to beta read or to ARC read and you never hear back from them. That's just the reality. You're basically asking them to do something for free. So the incentive for them is just to hopefully read a good story and help out someone else. And that's just not really strong motivation. Okay, so there are a lot of different ways to do this. There are two main programs that people use. One is BookFunnel. That's the one I used first. So here are the different price points for what you get with BookFunnel. I did the first time user because all I wanted to do was have a way to distribute those books. So I upload my book, it gives me a link, and then when my ARC people say, yeah, I'll read your book for you, I send them the link and they download it directly from BookFunnel. And BookFunnel does all the tech support to make sure that they can read it and they know what to do to load it on their phone or wherever they're going to read it. But I did that first time plan, which means I wasn't capturing any emails or any other data. So to get to that point where you're capturing data, you're integrating with your mail list and all the things you need to do, it gets a lot more expensive. So I went and I started looking at a competitor, StoryOrigin app, and it does all the same things that BookFunnel does, plus more. And the standard plan is $100 a year for everything. So look at everything you get here. This isn't just about ARCs, email integration, beta readers. It has much more than that. So I'm a big fan of StoryOrigin, and I'm just saying that they're not paying me. I'm not employed by them. I've just been super happy with what you get for $100 for a year. Extremely great value. And one of the other great things about it is if you send them an email for help, the CEO responds. And I hope that they grow to a point where he can no longer respond. That would be great. But it's super cool. Like I sent a question this morning and the CEO responded within like 20 minutes. So great customer service. But anyway, I'm going to talk more about this when it comes to kind of publishing and all that stuff. But as far as ARC readers and beta readers, it has a great program in here. There's also, you can create an account for readers or authors. So readers is free. And so if you want to help other authors out to be their beta reader or ARC reader, you can create a reader account all under one sign in. So let's go to the author one. Beta copies. So you can upload your manuscript as a beta copy and then send it out and people can search for it, and basically they apply to you to be a beta reader and you can accept them. And I've never used this feature, but they have a tutorial, and basically this allows you to send it out to a whole beta team. You get to see all of their feedback and comments as they read it. So if someone leaves a comment on chapter 2 or a certain paragraph, you can see it, but the other beta readers don't see their comments. You're the only one that gets to see everyone's comments. The old way of doing it is you send it out to everyone. Everyone sends their feedback or comments in, and then you have to aggregate it all together. So it's a real pain, especially if you have a fairly large team, because you're trying to aggregate all of their comments. If you have 10 people, you've got 10 different documents, all with different comments and feedback that you're trying to organize into one. Do it through StoryOrigin. It organizes it for you. You see all of their comments as they come in individually, and they can't see each other's. So it aggregates that, puts it all in one place for you. So great way to do beta copies. And it seems to me if beta copies are an important part of your process, if you want that feedback before you publish because you're not quite sure your book is going to appeal to the audience that you hope it will, this is the best system that I've seen. Maybe there's something else out there. If there is, leave it in the comments section. Let me know about it, but this is the best one I've seen so far. Okay, ARC readers. So, review copies. All right, so this is my newest book. You set it up in StoryOrigin as a review copy, all right? And you put in they create a link so that you can put it on Facebook or your email, send it out to your email list or whatever, and that link sends them to an application where they can apply to be a reviewer. StoryOrigin handles the hosting the file and the downloading the different types of files and the tech support and everything, so you don't have to worry about it. You put in your information, you can tag it so that if people are out there looking for ARCs, and we'll show you that in a second, they can search for tags. You put your blurb and your description, all that stuff in there to try to get people interested in reading that. Retailer links once you've got them. But for just if you don't have the retailer links yet, or like this one's already published, but I still am accepting reviewers, and I'll provide a copy to someone who's willing to give it a review. So we call them ARC readers still, but they're not advanced anymore. They're after publication review copies. But anyway, I uploaded the copy of the book, an EPUB file and Mobi file. You can create those here. You can download those from Draft to Digital if you did it there. Like I showed you in a previous video, you can do it in Atticus. You can do it in Calibre, which is a free program that handles ebooks. I can show you that in another one if you're interested. Let me know. And then they allow you to do a preview file so someone can read, say, the first chapter to decide whether or not they think it's going to be interesting before they commit to reviewing your whole book, which is a good thing because if you send a book out to someone to review and they get halfway through it and they stop reading it, or it's not for them and they don't like it, they might give you a bad review. This way it allows them to see if this is their cup of tea before they even start. So they have instructions on how to create just a small 1-2 chapter preview file and then the complete book files. Okay, so let's show you what it looks like on the reviewer end. All right, so this is from the reader account. So I went for readers, and anyone can create a reader account. It doesn't cost any money. So you take that link that is created in your author page under your review copy that I just showed you. You send it out to people, and it takes them to the book. Or if they just want to browse, they can go to StoryOrigin reader account. I put in clean and middle grade because I know those are 2 tags for this book. This is what they see. So that's all of the information that I had put in, the tagline, the description, the blurb, everything's there. So then you click, the person clicks request a review copy. You tell them what site you're going to leave your review on, and it will actually, when you create your reviewer account, it will actually have you go in and connect those accounts. So you've connected your Amazon account, you've connected your Goodreads account, so that it easily, once you write the review, it easily connects to it. You tell it, and then they say these are the priorities that they would like, the author would like, but you tell it which ones you're willing to do, right? And then you request the review copy. And a cool thing with StoryOrigin is that the author, once someone requests that review copy, the author can see your review stats. So if you are someone who's done a lot, it'll show that you've followed through on 50% of your reviews or 100% of your reviews, that you've left on Amazon, 10 out of 10 you've left on Amazon that you promised to, or 8 out of 10. So you can see if someone has a really poor response rate, you can reject their request to review your book, which in if you remember what I just said, response rates is a big problem with ARCs. Your percentages aren't high. So this way you can kind of mitigate that by only accepting applications from people who have a good history of response rates. So I would request this review copy. I'm not going to request a review copy of my own book because that wouldn't make sense. But let me show you one that I'm already looking at. So this is a book that I just happened to be reviewing. It's an audiobook. And again, Story Origin handles both audiobooks and ebooks. They host the ebooks. The audiobooks are through either you have a Spotify code or an Audible code. But anyway, so when you finish with it, you go on here and you write this review. This review is only visible to the author, so you can see that review. You do the star rating. And then, after you write this and submit it, you go through, so here I promised I would leave it on Amazon and Audible. So this links to my review account on Amazon because I've already added that. I leave my review, Amazon processes it, I get an email a day or two later saying your review has been published, and then you go in and put the link to show that your review was published. You say, yes, I put it on Audible, and then you submit. And once you submit, it shows that you are done. So if it's an ARC, an advanced copy, you can't submit it on Amazon until it's published. So what Story Origin does, it allows the author to accept these reviews and basically accept them in advance and build them up. And then in the author portal, you can say published. You can turn it from pre-publication to published. And then everyone who has an ARC read gets an email saying this book has been published. Please go in and publish your review. So then they can go in and take what they've already written here, copy it, paste it in Amazon, Goodreads, wherever else they're doing a review, and hit submit. So it not only handles the review, it sends you reminders to review if you forget. And after, like if you have a review and you haven't submitted one in 2 weeks, it'll send you an email reminder. And then there was something I learned today that if for some reason you can't finish the book, so you don't want to leave a review because you weren't able to finish it, but for whatever reason, whether, life circumstances happen or something, you can still leave this review and only the author will see it, and you can explain why. And then you hit submit, and then on Amazon you say, I cannot currently provide the link. So it's a way to still communicate with the author without providing the review if you want to be fair, right? It's not really fair to leave a bad review if you haven't actually finished the book. So that option is there. I've only had to use that once, and I actually didn't know you could do that, and that's the email I got back from the CEO of this company, the founder, which is really cool. So you can see Story Origin has a lot more going on here, and we'll talk about that later in our marketing and sales and all that stuff. But as far as beta readers and ARC readers, BookFunnel has a lot of the same functions, but Story Origin has more, especially on the beta reader side. You can't compete with that. If you look in what is available on BookFunnel, they have ARC delivery, but not beta. They also don't have the built-in review system / reminders. You just send it to them and you just hope, you have to email them and you just hope that they follow through. People are much more likely to follow through if they get a reminder after 2 weeks, or a reminder when it's published, and it kind of prods them. And Story Origin, it's all automatic. BookFunnel, it's not. So I go with Story Origin. You can choose which one. A lot of people go with BookFunnel. It's very popular, so there's nothing wrong with it. Just based on cost versus everything it provides, all the options, I think Story Origin is probably a better deal. So play around with it as a reader before you use it as an author. Get an account as a reader. Do a couple ARCs, do a couple beta reads for some other authors. Again, you just search through filters, whatever you want. Clean romance. Oh, you can't have a clean and erotic romance. That doesn't work, does it? So clean adventure. You pick the book, apply to read, and just give it a shot from the reader side, so you'll understand what the process is like for your readers. All right, I want to show you one more thing. If you're using BookFunnel, it doesn't have the built-in application process for ARCs, so I created a Google form, and this is an example of that. You can hit pause here if you want to see what I said. And you're collecting their email so that you can follow up with them. So go ahead and feel free to copy this if you want to. It's I think I probably copied it off of someone else. But essentially that's what you're doing. You're independently collecting those applications. You're sending them a link to this form, and then you're taking the emails, the people who filled out the form, you are sending them the BookFunnel link for them to download there. So that's how the process would work in BookFunnel. In StoryOrigin, it's all self-contained within the StoryOrigin website. All right, so that's the difference between beta readers and ARC readers. Beta readers are giving you feedback directly. ARC readers are giving you reviews online. ARC readers shouldn't give direct feedback to the authors, although sometimes if they see issues or stuff, they'll want to reach out to you and give you some feedback or show you, like, just let you know, hey, on page 110 you missed a period or whatever. But the primary focus for ARC readers is reviewing stuff for you online, whereas beta readers is you getting feedback from your prospective audience on what they think about the book and the plot and the flow and all of that stuff. So that's the difference. They're not the same thing. They're both important. If you're going to skip one of them, probably skip beta readers. ARC readers are really important because reviews are your bread and butter. As an author, the only way for your book to be seen in the search functions, and Amazon, there are millions of books, so the only way you're going to be found or work your way up in the search results or in the rankings is if you get good reviews. And they actually will, like, 3 stars bumps you down, 4 and 5 stars are what bumps you up, so they matter. So it's really important to have a good system to deliver those ARC copies and make sure you get the best possible chance of follow through. If you're just sending them out to family and friends, like I said, you will be disappointed. So you want to find people who are dedicated and who have a proven track record of actually following through. So you see my recommendations there. You can take that for what you will. All right, I hope you learned something here. Please hit subscribe. Click the notification bell to catch future videos. If you haven't seen the previous lessons, go ahead and watch those. I'd really appreciate it. And again, there are links below where you can support me. There's some fun apparel, book nerd jokes. So if you're interested in that or showing your support for indie authors, click those links below. And I'll see you next time on Self-Publishing Made Easy.